Obama on America.
We can't drive our SUVs and eat as much as we want and keep our homes on 72 degrees at all times.
Sounds a little something like this guy. I'll tell you why Chairman Obama will be bad for the country.
Well, hello, America. I'm on pins and needles. I don't know how it's going to work out tomorrow. Kentucky and Oregon going to have their Democratic primaries. Oregon is where Barack Obama is hoping to claim victory over his rival Hillary Clinton. Obama is also hoping to pitch himself to Oregon as the environmental president. Great, just what we needed. At a rally near Portland, the earthy, crunchy capital of the world, Barack said this.
We can't drive our SUVs and, eat as much as we want and keep our homes on, 72 degrees at all times and then just expect that every other country is going to say, okay, that's not leadership.
Really? Forgive me if I respectfully disagree. America, here's the point tonight. Barack Obama wants us to relive the Jimmy Carter years, and I don't really want to go back there. And here's how I got there. I feel Jimmy Carter, I'm out on a limb, probably the worst president in modern history. And considering the competition, that's saying something. He presided over 20% inflation, double-digit interest rates, a naive foreign policy. I think there was a burning helicopter in there someplace, epic gas shortages, and skyrocketing oil prices. When asked how Americans should deal with a cold winter in the face of expensive heating oil, Jimmy Carter said, I don't know, wear a sweater. To make his Jimmy Carter impersonation perfect, Barack Obama, I think all he needs is a southern accent, a beer-drinking hick of a brother, and a peanut up his you-know-what. Americans don't retreat. We innovate. Invention is what moves us forward, not regulation. Putting on a sweater? Turning down the thermostat? Those are more distractions from a desperately needed long-term solution to our energy problem that, I got news for you, just ain't going away. Let me remind you, America runs on oil, and cars are just the beginning. Driving SUV, those are not the problem. Focusing on polar bears and ethanol, that's the problem. We can do anything in this country. We've proved it time and time again. We committed to landing on the moon, and we put a whole buttload of men up on the moon. Now we need the same kind of dedication from a president who will grow a set and lead the charge. Better yet, we need a president that's not an obstructionist, who will shove the obstructionist government out of the way of American entrepreneurs. The lasting solutions are staring us right in the face. It's coal to oil technology, nuclear energy, aggressive domestic drilling. Those are just medium-term solutions, but we need them. And we need the American dreamers to take us to the next step and ensure our future is as glorious as our past, and it ain't the government that's going to do it. The only thing keeping us from energy independence are the weasels in Washington that lack the vision, all the while blocking the doorway to our future. So tonight, America, here is what you need to know. America's future is not in her past, it never has been. We made it through the 4-year nightmare called the Carter administration, and returning to that same impotent thinking would be a tragic mistake, and given the world today, I think it could be a fatal mistake. Barack Obama wants the Birkenstock crowd to vote for him. You know what, Barack? Who else are they going to vote for? He's proving yet again he's a politician by telling Oregon voters exactly what they want to hear. So thanks anyway, Barack. But I think I'm going to keep my SUV, eat as much as I want, and crank the heat up to about 85, just to piss all the people wearing Birkenstocks that don't shave under their armpits, just to piss them off. I got my fingers crossed, America, for a leader, not another Jimmy Carter. Stephen Moore writes editorials on economics for the Wall Street Journal. Stephen, my gut says Obama is Jimmy Carter. Right or wrong?
Yeah, I feel like I have to get out my bell-bottom jeans and my disco music. I mean, it is a replay of the 1970s. And Glenn, when I heard that excerpt you did from his speech in Oregon, it really did remind me of Jimmy Carter. Remember, he used to give those speeches in the cardigan sweaters next to the fireside and said, everybody turn their thermostats down. I mean, in the 4 years under Jimmy Carter, Glenn, were the worst 4 years for family income in the last 50 years. We don't want to go there again. We've done that. We've been there.
So let's go through it. Some of the things. Tax rates.
70%. 70%.
Okay.
And under, what, I forget, do you live in New Jersey or New York, Glenn?
No, I live in Connecticut.
Oh, wait. Good for you. Well, if you live in New York, New Jersey, or California, when you combine his tax increase with the state's taxes, you're facing 60% marginal tax rates. We're right back there where we were in the 70s.
That's without any kind of deductions like they used to have.
That's exactly right.
Windfall, profits.
Yeah, we did that. That was one of Jimmy Carter's swan songs. We put in place a windfall profits tax in 1979. What happened when we did that was our reliance on foreign oil went way up and our domestic production went way down. Barack Obama wants the same thing.
Spending out of control in Washington under Jimmy Carter?
Well, I don't think Jimmy Carter wanted to spend as much as Barack does. I mean, they both wanted to spend a lot of money, and the budget went through the roof under Jimmy Carter. But Barack Obama is calling for $300 billion a year of new spending per year.
Right. And then you got the foreign policy where he wants to talk to our enemies. He wants to hollow out our military. But, you know, Stephen, here's what really frightens me. There's a possibility that the Senate only has 40 Republicans, and I'm not a fan of the Republicans, but maybe 40. That can't stop a filibuster. That's not going to happen. They'll be down 70 seats in the House, and they'll have Barack Obama. Yeah. Good God Almighty, what does America look like in 18 months?
It's a frightening proposition because you're talking about repeating all of the economic mistakes of the 1970s. And the problem is, when Jimmy Carter did it, at least we didn't know that all these things would go wrong. Now we know, we've been there.
Right.
So that's what I don't understand.
Stephen,
what's the logic of repeating the mistakes of the 1970s?
You and I have had dinner, and I know you disagree with this because we've argued about this a million times. It's not just the mistakes of the 1970s. These are the same mistakes we made during the Great Depression.
Right. Well, you know, you're right about that. And the problem is Democrats, they look at the situation, and we all see government failure, everything from responding to Katrina to the out-of-control budget, the deficits, and then liberals respond to that, I think we need a little more government to deal with these problems. When government created the problem with the high gas prices and the high food prices.
Crazy. Stephen, thanks a lot.